Hello, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'm excited to talk to you about Facebook video APIs and how that is helping creators all over the world thrive on Meta's platform. With me today is also Michael Tippett from Later. Michael will talk to you about the passion economy, a new paradigm built for creators with purpose. Michael will also share Later's experience in integrating their platform with Facebook and Instagram Reels APIs. But more importantly, Michael will share some nuggets about those specific creators and their use cases on how they use that integrated platform to make a difference. I will also go into some of the scale and complexity that we handle here in Meta, especially in the API team. I'm also going to talk about some exciting new creation features and generative AI capabilities that we are working on. So stay tuned for that. By the way, I am Deepak Dutta. I'm a product manager here at Meta, looking into video API portfolio. We are responsible for successful upload, processing, and delivery of over billion hours of video that is consumed on our family of apps daily. I will first set the context and give you an overview of the API portfolio. Michael will then go into and talk about Later and Maverick's experience in this space. I'll then come back and talk to you about the roadmap and some of the exciting stuff that we are doing. Also touch into some things that are happening under the hood. Here at Meta, video is the future. Watching video represent more than half of the time spent on our family of apps. As you can imagine, that's handling such an unprecedented scale of more than 3 billion active people a day watching more than a billion hours of video requires a robust and scalable infrastructure. An infrastructure that can upload thousands of videos globally and then within seconds create multiple lanes of that to ensure that it can support delivery on multiple global devices with different form factors and different internet connections. This also includes millions of concurrent live streams on our platform that we support with average latency of less than 2 seconds. We support Ultra HD, HDR video quality. But more importantly, especially with Metaverse, we are pushing the limit of immersive 360-degree and stereoscopic video content. Within video, though, short form of video is where the action is. Short form of video represent the large extent of the whole content that people are consuming today. In a recent study, we learned that 41% of consumption of Gen Z's videos are actually short form of video. And we expect this trend to just continue. Reels is growing rapidly on our platform. Every quarter, we are seeing double-digit growth. Just in a couple of months of releasing the Facebook Reels API, we are now seeing hundreds and thousands of upload every day that represent millions of hours of watch time on our platform. Besides creation that happens on our platform through first-party tools and some mobile application that are used by casual creators and even the professional creators, we are very much aware that a lot of people prefer third-party platforms and first-party in-house created tools to create and publish their content. Meta's video APIs can be used by those creators and developers to integrate the platform of their choice into Facebook's and Instagram's ecosystem. To give you some idea of scales of the content that comes in through this 3P channel, I will tell you that there are thousands of daily active third-party platforms that are used by tens of millions of creators every day to upload millions of videos on our platform. And that is the kind of scale and complexity that our system has to handle. Now, let me give you a bit of an overview of this API portfolio. First, we have the video publishing APIs. These are the APIs that are used to publish video on pages and groups. These are legacy Facebook APIs that have been out there for a while. We've also had Facebook Live API. These APIs are used by third-party platforms to live stream video on our ecosystem. We also have the Rights Manager APIs. These are the APIs that publishers use to claim copyright over the videos, so a very important feature. Last year, we released 3 more APIs on the Facebook side. The first one was the Share to Reels APIs. These are like the SDKs that are used by third-party mobile platforms to integrate this SDK into it. So the publishing of the video, the short form of video, can happen in tandem with the Facebook application that is on the mobile phone. So it's a mobile to mobile integration. More importantly though, we have the Facebook Reels API that we published last year. These are the APIs that are used for publishing short form of video from third-party platforms into our ecosystem. These are the APIs that later has used to integrate their platform, and Michael will talk more about it later. Lastly, there is Insights API that provides important statistics about how the videos that the creators are publishing is doing. These statistics can then be used by the developers or creators to understand and fine-tune their content. Now, these are not all the APIs in the portfolio, but these are the important APIs that we wanted to focus on. I also want to point out that the Reels API on the Facebook side is a new endpoint, separate endpoint than the video publishing API. On the Instagram side, the Stories and Reels API is part of the same video publishing API umbrella. We did that to make sure that some of your feedback can be incorporated and added some new features like resumable upload. Now, these APIs can be used by video creation platforms, content management platforms, also by publishers or enterprise creators who might actually use tools that they have in-house created. So these APIs work for all of those use cases. With that, I'm going to pass it on to Michael, who is going to go through the Later and Maverick's experience in this ecosystem. Over to you, Michael.
Thanks very much, Deepak. Great to be with you all. Appreciate the opportunity to talk about what we're doing here at Maverick and Later with Reels. So I'm going to walk you through a little bit about our company and some of the work we've done and some of the results. But before I do that, I wanted to introduce you to a notion that we're very excited about, which we call the passion economy. And the passion economy is something that we think transcends even the influencer market, which itself is huge. As you likely know, the influencer market has grown exponentially in the last several years. So from 2016 to 2023, it grew from 1.7 billion to 21 billion. So that's a pretty enormous growth curve. We now have over 300 million people who are self-identifying as creators, and that number continues to grow. And I can explain a little bit about why we think that's the case right now. In terms of the value of the space, people have estimated it to be over $100 billion and growing at 35% a year. So you've got already massive scale and then high growth in combination with that. So again, we think that the opportunity within that market itself is huge. We've even started to see that about 80% of companies, 4 to 5 companies, are actually dedicating ad dollars to the influencer market itself. And like I said, we see that in the context of an even broader context, which we're calling the passion economy, which is the intersection of consumers and marketers and creators. And later in Maverick, our mission is to connect all of those different groups and solve all the problems that they have in between them and build a platform that really builds out this passion economy. So let me talk a little bit about the two companies. So Maverick was founded in 2014 and was a real trailblazer in the world of influencer marketing. So they basically bring together influencers, creators with brands to help them reach consumers. So if you're a footwear company, you could work with a creator who has a big audience in the sneaker world to introduce your new sneaker. And Maverick will help you connect with that influencer, manage those campaigns, see the impact of those campaigns, and then improve and refine them moving forward. Later, on the other hand, is a social media management platform. We have millions of people using the platform, and they use it to plan their content, schedule their content, publish their content, and then measure the effectiveness of it. So with the combination of these two companies coming together, we now have a very unique offering where we have expertise and skills and leadership in both influencer marketing and social media management. So let me talk a little bit more about the passion economy and its relationship to Reels and some of the things that are driving it. So the number one thing I think that's driving it, and is probably driving disruption across any number of different spaces, is AI. And we're seeing this in social media. We've leaned fully into it. Our platform is now definitely AI enhanced. It allows you to plan your content more effectively. We are kind of a co-pilot on your strategy. So we are definitely investing heavily in AI, and we think that it's driving the space and the growth of the space pretty dramatically. The second thing I think is interesting is how the cost of content production and creation and distribution has dropped really dramatically. And that has resulted in the democratization of content creation. And I think that's really what's driving this 300 million strong creator cohort. We're also seeing, in many ways, thanks to the work that you folks are doing at Meta, the emergence of new platforms like AR and VR. And we see those as vehicles for an expanded role for the passion economy to play in those different spheres. And finally, the advancements in the way that data is tracked and consumer behavior is tracked, and the fact that we can now attribute different activity along that user journey, understand the value that creators are playing in that path. And the more we can understand and quantify that social proof, the more effective we become and the more likely people are to pay for it. And our long-term vision is to empower 1 billion people to thrive in the passion economy. And that might sound like a big, hairy, audacious goal. It is. But we also recognize that in the future, no matter what you do, if you're a doctor, if you're a chiropractor, a yoga instructor, you need to participate in the passion economy if you want your business to be relevant. It's just the way that people find out what people do. And we also see video as being a critical part of that. And obviously, Reels is a massive part of that as well. So Reels and video are going to be big drivers in the passion economy. And I'll just pause and give you a little bit of personal perspective on this. I've been in the technology business for over 25 years, and I've seen the advent of social media. I've seen the advent of mobile phones and the iPhone. I've seen the advent of the web. I was even around to see the advent of the internet itself. And all of those things were massively disruptive. But I think that this is something on the same scale as any one of those new disruptive trending technologies. And so we're very excited about the potential. So let's get into the details of the later integration with Reels. We knew this was going to be hugely popular with our customers because they were asking for it for a long time. And until we were able to access the functionality through the API, we weren't really able to serve our users the way we'd like to. But when we gained access, we went out very strong with the launch. We reached out to all of our major channels, including our blog and our newsletter, which themselves get millions of views and subscribers every single month. So we were able to get the information out into our customers' hands and get them onto the platform really quickly. We've even seen about 700,000 page views on our blog posts about Reels alone. So it's definitely something that people are interested in learning more about and taking full advantage of. From a technical perspective, the integration included 3 APIs. The first was the publishing API, obviously, and that allows us our users to schedule with our very simple to use calendar. You just drag something from the content library onto the calendar, and it's very intuitive, and it's been one of the reasons that Later has become so popular with consumers, SMBs, big brands, and social media managers. You can modify the cover image. You can validate the media, so it reduces the failure of publishing. You can tag locations, and you can edit the video as well. The other thing we added was analytics and insights. This is a big part of our platform. Obviously, you need to be able to measure what you publish, and through the analytics and insights API, we were able to do that and provide charts on likes, comments, shares, impressions, reach, and engagement. And then finally, we integrated with the Comments API. So this allows people to have conversations directly with users through our platform. So in terms of the results, we were very happy with them. We measure the success of these launches in 2 ways. One is are we getting additional customers through free signups, new trials, paid customers, and we saw positive lifts on all those fronts. And the second thing, obviously, is whether our customers are using it. And we've seen definite positive proof that this is a valuable tool. We've seen about 20,000 posts every month on the Instagram Reels, which we launched a little bit earlier than the Facebook Reels. Facebook Reels has only been out for about 6 months, but we're seeing constant month-over-month growth. So we're very excited about the potential and the existing usage. So shifting gears a little bit, that's how Later works with Reels. Maverick is a bit of a different story. So with Later, we're a self-serve SaaS platform with millions of customers and users. Maverick is more focused on large multinational companies, and so we work with brands to connect them with creators. And so here's a couple of examples where we've seen real success. The first is working with Belk, who came to us with an objective: increased reach and impressions. They also wanted to increase their engagements and their engagement rate on Instagram by actively engaging with creators. We worked with both static as well as dynamic Reels and Stories content. And the end result we thought was a real home run. We had over 1,700 influencer-generated pieces of content created, and we exceeded any of the benchmarks that we put in place in terms of measuring the engagement rates. Second example I'd love to walk you through is something we were very proud of. This was the work we did with American Girl. What they were hoping to do by working with influencers was to promote their cultural celebrations collection. And the results on that front were also very, very positive. We had 20 influencers produce 123 pieces of content, which achieved 360,000 impressions, 27,000 engagements, and a 7.5% engagement rate. We were also honored to be the recipient of the 2023 Muse Creative Award. And it's always gratifying to be rewarded for not only the business impact of what you're doing, but also the creative work you're doing. So we were very proud of that. And finally, I'd love to talk about what we did with Open Door. So they came to us, they wanted to increase their brand awareness using creators and influencers, and they wanted to focus on engagement metrics. And we did see that the cost per engagement was a little bit higher than we've seen elsewhere, but that came with very, very good engagement rates. Instagram posts achieved a 12.3% engagement rate, again, surpassing any of the industry benchmarks we've seen. And industry Reels achieved a 10.5% engagement rate, again, outperforming our expectations. So in summary, very, very excited about what's happening with Reels. We think it has huge potential. We see video and Reels as being a critical component to the future of the passion economy. And of course, we couldn't do it without the help of our partner Meta and the platform that they've built. And so I'm going to hand it back to Deepak, who's going to go into more details in terms of what's to come. Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot, Michael. All right, let's bring the focus back to the APIs that were behind the magic that Michael talked about. Reels APIs has been doing really well since we released them last quarter in 2022. The new version of the Reels API support custom thumbnail, automatic music tagging, tagging collaborators, longer 90-second format of Reels, and improved error handling based on the feedback that we received from you guys. Facebook Reels API also support now scheduling and draft capability. So a creator can take advantage of third parties' platform, schedule to publish later, or just put that content in draft state and then pick it up from Meta's platform like Meta Business Suite. So they can take advantage of best of features in both the platforms. In the new version, we also support additional audio insights. So those audios tags that tells you which audios are doing well. These are part of our audio recommendation APIs. We have also added enhanced Reels performance metrics into our Insight APIs that go with the Reels. Our goal is to ensure that the creators can adopt and onboard on our APIs easily. So take as much of the friction away as possible. We also want to provide features so that creators can create quality content on our platform and on our third-party platforms that are integrated to our ecosystem. To do that, we are adding features like early copyright detection, so you do not have to worry about issues that happen after the fact. You can get some feedback quickly. We also have added things like A/B testing and more metrics into our Insights API to give you an idea about how your content is doing. We are super excited about working on enhanced creation features like video clipping and trimming that can generate short form of video from video of any size. And we are certainly very excited to work on some generative AI capabilities, focusing specially on some generative unique audio. So stay tuned for that to learn more about it later. With that, I wanted to thank you for tuning in. Special thanks to Michael and later for participating in this session, and to everybody who contributed to make At Scale 2023 a success. Thank you.